McGraw-Hill Professional presents Organizing for Success, Second Edition, written by Kenneth Zeigler, narrated by John Haag. Introduction. The fourth dimension of time management: how to increase your productivity and work more effectively with others. Are you tired of reading the same old ideas, only they have been paraphrased and changed slightly so they seem new? Even though this topic has changed radically over the past 4 to 5 years, many writers are still putting a spin on old ideas, rather than looking for new ideas and strategies to more effectively handle a significantly greater workload the average person faces every day. Back in 1996, the Hertz car rental company began to ask why they were getting so many complaints from their managers that they were stressed out. They noticed an increase in manager turnover and employee dissatisfaction, but they couldn't understand it, since every manager at Hertz had a Franklin day planner. After all, back in those days, you weren't anyone unless you had a Franklin day planner. In fact, the bigger the day planner, the more organized you must be, people deduced. I offered to observe their managers in the field and tell them what the problem was and propose some potential solutions. After 6 months, I made my report to Hertz and made my recommendations. Here is that summation. 1. The Franklin Day Planner was the wrong planning tool for their field managers. Since they were rarely at their desk, the day planner was too large and cumbersome for them to take with them wherever they went. As a result, they hardly used it. 2. I recommended that they use a very small spiral notepad or a single sheet of paper they could put in their back pocket that was more portable and thus more useful. The key is that they needed a very portable tool or it wouldn't be very useful. When they returned to their desk eventually, they could then transfer their notes and to-dos onto their calendar. 3. Hertz managers couldn't even remember what they had done 2 days before when I asked them. This is because they rarely wrote anything down and did everything the second it was requested. 4. Their daily plan was unrealistic because they tried to make a typical day fit their plan. I recommended that they clearly understand what a typical day really looked like and develop a plan that took advantage of what a typical day was really like. 5. Since their plan wasn't realistic, it rarely worked, so they had to work longer hours just to get the work that had to be done daily done by the end of the day. 6. Delegation was the #1 problem I observed. Since managers didn't really understand why and how to effectively delegate, it rarely worked. So they broke down the confidence of the person they delegated to, and they ended up having to still do the task, project, or report. They lost any chance to leverage their time and abilities. 7. Since they did almost everything themselves, they ended up working more hours. They also had very little mental separation between work and home, so even when they weren't at work, they still thought about work all the time. Thus, it was like they never left work when they came in the following day. This added to the burnout. That is why I recommend putting mental closure on every day. Even though corporate America has significantly downsized, and we are doing the work that 3 to 4 individuals used to do, we are still using the same skill set we had years ago when the workload was much less. Because of this phenomenon, we are actually becoming less efficient, and the result is longer hours at work each day. The #3 reason for procrastination is being overwhelmed. As a person becomes more overwhelmed, they actually slow down. From years of research, one thing is certain. Productivity has actually been decreasing over the past 4 to 5 years, even though the government's measurement of productivity
Sample complete. Ready to continue?